Today's lens was used in the Batman movie. It was made 50 years ago, and I've been using it for like 10 of them. This is the Helios 44-2, the cheapest yet most wanted vintage lens in the market right now. And today I'm going to tell you everything about this lens. Flaring, contrast, focus, sharpness. We've put it in a ton of situations. And by the end of this video, we're going to find out if this lens is actually usable in 2026. This lens is a 58mm f2 manual focusing lens. You can see the naming on the inside. It says Helios 44-2, which is the name of the lens. It doesn't mean that it's a 44mm lens. It's an all metal compact lens. It has this aperture design on the front showing you like distances in meters if you want to pull focus manually, because old film cameras did not have autofocus. Of course, as you can see, the focus ring in here is kind of weird. It's not shaped like the modern lenses that we use these days. So if you want to put a ring around it, you can add that if you're adding like a follow focus or a DJI LiDAR system. Although it's made of steel, this is a very, very compact and light lens. So you can take it with you if you're traveling, if you want to backlight, if you have a couple of these small prime lenses, you can add this to your kit. Although it has glass in it, so you have to be careful while throwing it around in your luggage or in your bag. As I said before, this does not have autofocus. If you're doing any micro adjustments to your focus, it's easy because of the long focus throw that it has. So the closest focus distance, this is 0.5 meters, and you can go up to infinity. Of course, we took it outside and we started shooting a ton of backlit shots because I like backlit shots. I like the flaring in the lens. The character that it produces is incredible. It was actually used in a couple of films like Batman, Dune, because of the character that it has. If you have a tree, if you have lights in the background, you will have this swirly background that is incredible. If you shoot photography, this is one of the best lenses to have in your kit if you like artistic shots or even portraits. But with this swirly, creamy bokeh, there is a trade-off. This lens is sharp in the middle. If you go to the side, you're not in focus anymore. Even though you pulled focus, it is in focus, but it's not that sharp. So the sharpness is only in the center. All the edges will look out of focus, but they're just not that sharp. So whenever you're shooting with this lens, make sure to put your subject right in the middle. The flaring on the lens is incredible, yet sometimes it's kind of weird. I don't know if it depends on the light, but whenever you have light shining onto this lens directly, the image will look washed out. So you can either like fix it a little bit in post to add more contrast, or stop down the lens from f2 to, let's say, f4 or f5.6. You will lose a little bit of the background bokeh, but you will have a sharp image. And speaking about aperture, one of the weirdest things is that the aperture ring on it is backwards. So if you put your lens at f16, it'll give you the widest aperture, which is f2. But if you move it to f2, you'll close down your lens to f16, as you can see right now. Let's talk a little bit about rehoused lenses, because you can rehouse it yourself. You can just 3D print like an outer shell for this lens and have it rehoused, or you can buy a rehoused one from Iron Glass. If you're using them on like professional set where you need a couple of lenses that are the same dimensions, if you have like follow focus and if you have like focusing motors and aperture motors, you can buy these. But if you're an individual, you just buy this one. It will work for you. I've been using this for like 10 years now, and I bought an adapter that we'll speak about later. It served me well throughout the years. I use it on my Sony cameras and it gave me phenomenal results. Speaking about the adapter, if you're going to attach this to your modern camera, it won't. This uses something called an M42 mount, and it's like a screw-on mount. So you just screw it onto your camera if you have a Zenit camera. If you don't, if you have a Sony camera, you have to have an adapter called M42 to E mount. This is also a manual focus adapter, so it's not going to turn it into an autofocus lens because it doesn't have any contact points. It's not that expensive. Go buy one for yourself. Of course, when you want to remove it with the adapter, it will act like a normal lens. If you want to remove the lens from the adapter, you just screw it off the lens like this. I don't know why I'm holding camera like this. You just screw it off and it's off. You are exposing the sensor directly and you just screw it on. If you have multiple lenses, I also have the Helios 42, which is an 85mm f1 f/0.5, which we will be reviewing hopefully soon. So who is this lens made for? If you're a filmmaker, you can use this really easily. You can have the best specialty shots, you can have the best medium and tight shots using this lens. You cannot get close to subjects because it has 0.5 meter close focusing distance. So make sure that you have the right frame, or you shoot 4K and then you crop and post. A lot of documentary filmmakers use this, like Mark Bone. I like using it from time to time. It's not my main lens, but it's a great focal length. It has a great character if I want a specialty shot. Of course, you have to deal with some drawbacks of this lens, like the lack of clarity on the edges, the sharpness only in the middle. You have to pull focus yourself, and if you have longer focus throws, the camera will shake in your hand. So make sure that you're not moving around while focusing with this lens. Of course, you have to buy an adapter in order to use it with modern cameras like mirrorless cameras or DSLRs. And finally, if you want a clinically sharp lens, just don't go with that. This is a specialty shot lens. Would I suggest that you buy it? Yes, if you do like the specialty shots that I mentioned or that I showed you in the video. If you don't usually have a use case for this, you can rent it out whenever you want, and make sure that you're buying a clean one, because a ton of them have fungus in them. I wouldn't have bought this lens if it wasn't given to me by my grandpa. Other than that, this lens and the other Helios lens are not commonly used on sets with me, because I shoot events, I shoot run and gun, I shoot documentaries. They are not my first choice. Tell us down below in the comments if you like this lens, or if you want to buy one, or if you have one and what's your experience with it. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and comment down below what you want to know about next, and I'll see you in the next one. شكرا يا استاذ شعبان على مساعدتك
على راسي
وعلى الموديلنج اللي عملت لنا اياه على هيدي الهيليوس.